Did I get it? No, I forgot it. Where did I put it? Okay, today we're doing an impromptu bake. Yeah. So we bake, we start right now. Usually I have a helper, today no helper, no biggie. We're gonna get it all done. But, we're gonna do the bake that happens Friday night, tonight, and tomorrow we'll go to the market here in Asheville. This Saturday market. Whoops. This dough here is, it's almost like a whole grain focaccia. Whoops. Cut off the wrong. I'm not gonna lie, I did a pretty mediocre job, pretty mid, cutting this up, but that's okay. This dough's great. It's what I like to call forgiving. Just like my wife. You know what I like to do with extra dough? Add it to the dough that already is here. Because this is a very rustic flatbread that we make anyway. So you can kind of like, you know, everybody gets a little bit more bread. Everybody wins. Right about now, I'm missing my grits, or maybe like a little bran or like mids or something, because it's a beautiful flour. It's just like really fine, and I like when there's like a little bit of grit on the bottom of the flatbreads. That's okay. You don't do much for this shape. The reason I started doing it like this is because we used to like shape them single, like, you know, every portion was shaped by hand, you know, each one like 100 grams or whatever. And then like we started doing a little bit better at market and stuff, and the demand got a bit higher, so I was like shaping like a silly amount. It was like 250, like, you know, like for a small home baker, like 250 pieces or like 300 pieces, like balled up by hand. And it's like a very delicate dough because it's like a southern grown wheat and stone milled and stuff. Bro, it took forever. So I was like, I gotta do something else. And I learned this technique when I first started baking from a baker named Jim Leahy out in Sullivan, it was in Miami. But yeah, this technique, they don't do individual flatbreads with this technique like we do. They usually do like big breadsticks for like sandwiches. But I just thought it would be good to fill the breadstick. Thought that would be probably the easiest option for us, so we didn't have to, like, you know, hire someone to shape with me and all that. Okay. So now, I almost forgot actually earlier, but I have to do a small batch of sesame flatbreads for a wholesale account. So we're gonna do that right now, and then we're gonna start shaping some big loaves. Okay. We're gonna put these over here. Sit them out for like just a second, and I'll put them in the refrigerator to retard. Anytime you hear water running, I'm washing my hands. Okay, get that through your head. I'm washing these mitts, brother. Beautiful. You know, it would be really funny if I got like a camera or whatever set up one day to be like face towards the bakery, and then if we got another camera to be set up towards like the sink station and the hand sink station, so you could always catch people lacking and see if they're actually washing them mitts. They're keeping them hands clean. I can kind of be as loud as I want as long as I keep a good energy too, because my baby is at his nana's, and my wife is sadly at a funeral. Rest in peace, Jack. You beautiful soul. This bake is dedicated to Jack. I love you. I wish I got a chance to say goodbye and give him one last hug, but that's all right, you know. Love you, Jack. Oh, water. Water! Okay. 200 grams, everybody. Oh, no, wait. Oh, my God, everybody. Everybody. 100 grams. 100 grams. Slow it down. Beautiful. And then we're going to toss them in a couple of sesame seeds, y'all. I can already tell it's gonna be a hot bake. Meaning temperature in here. Oven's always hot, but today it's hot outside. Ooh-wee. I'm excited. I'm really excited to work up a little sweat. Get my blood flowing. Alright, almost done here. So if you're just tuning in, or if you haven't been watching, I haven't really talked about like what we're doing even. I don't know why I didn't even talk about what we're doing. We're gonna do a bunch of wood-fired flatbreads today. And maybe I did talk about it, I can't remember. But we're only using doughs that are sourdough and mixed with 100% locally sourced, organic, stone-milled wheat. Today, it's most of the time it's going to be a red wheat called New East. It's an heirloom grain. And Carolina Ground is a local mill down in Hendersonville who works with like North Carolinian farmers and sources that grain so she can make amazing flour with her team. For recluses like me. Oops. How much we got here? Hold on. 6, 12, 18, 24. Fuck. 35. Alright. I was gonna do 60 for him, but I don't know if I have 60. I think I got 60. We'll see. I'll just shape till I count 60 and then I'll take the rest. I'll save it for maybe someone's gonna get a little gift at the market tomorrow. A little whole wheat sourdough baby bowl. You stay off. All right, now we're gonna put those logs we shaped just a second ago in the fridge. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. See how many we do. These are really easy to do. You could bake them in a like a conventional oven really easily. You just take your dough. It could be like a pizza dough. Like think of like a pizza dough. And if you want to add a little bit of whole wheat, you can, but it's not completely necessary. But it'll add a lot of like nutrition and flavor to the bread. So you know. But you just make like a whole grain pizza dough if you can. It could be yeasted or sourdough. And then you just cut like little 100-gram balls, or you can do them a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. Shape them into you cut the rough shape them into a ball. Place them directly in some like sesame seeds, or you could do poppy seed. You could do any seed you could possibly think of. You could do like dehydrated garlic, might be good if you bake them really light because you don't want the garlic to burn. Or maybe you like put like some water on the garlic so it sticks to it or something. And or you do them plain. You could just shape them like I'm shaping now. And instead of placing them in seeds, you could place them in just like a little bit of bran, or like bran mixed with whole wheat flour. Or you could put like I said when I was talking about the whole wheat flatbreads with grits on the bottom. You could just put like tiny bit of grits on the bottom of these. If you take wet dough like this and you put it to a oiled pan, unless there's like a ton of oil on your pan, it's gonna stick. So you gotta like put a little something. From what I've experienced, I might be super wrong. You could put like, maybe you might get away with it, but I think like without like enough oil, if you put a wet dough on a pan, you're asking for it. So you put a little tiny bit of grits on there. Just want to say, I don't even care if there's, I can't see because my phone is, I'm trying to go for like a super long time on the stream today. So I got like, I'm gonna figure it out later once I need to like charge my phone and stuff. But the brightness is on like super low, so I can't see if anyone's watching or whatever. But if anyone's watching, thank you. If nobody's watching, thank you so much. I don't really care. I really appreciate even like 10 seconds of viewing. That's like crazy. Thank you so much, y'all. We've done this. This is like the third time now doing a live stream on YouTube. And the goal is nothing. We don't have a goal. Goal is just like have fun, honestly, if I could answer questions in the chat during my breaks and stuff, that would be the goal. That would be the goal. Or if if people want to troll me and get like, let their anger out, that would be the goal. That would be the goal. Just let that anger out, honestly. I can take it. I've been taking it since high school. I can take it. Okay, almost got like a full pan filled up here with sesame. So now what you do, can you see that? You can see that, right? Just a little bit of sesame seeds. And you could do this so many different ways. Like like you could take this and let them rest on like a proofing board, and then just once they're like almost fully proof, you don't want them excuse me, I'm trying not to curse. You don't want them like soggy, and like overproofed on your board. But once they're honestly like close to this, because it's like a hot day, so they're already going. You give them like another minute or so, and then you could like live fire them like in front of like a wood fire, or you could do it like in a little unique oven or whatever, or you just do them on the pan like this. Because if you're gonna do them in a conventional oven, like you could get the pizza stone out and stuff like that, but then you're gonna be doing like 2 at a time, or like 4 at a time, and like if you got company coming over, bro, you get 15, or not 15, you could fit like a half sheet tray. You get like maybe like 7 or maybe like 8 all done at once, or you could put 2 trays in and get like 16 done and have like a whole party. And I hope you're inviting me because I taught you this shit. Excuse me, I cursed. God dang it. Dang it, bro. Bleep it out. Moderators, bleep it out. Bleep it out, mods. Okay. Once they're like this, just kind of give it like, you gotta step back. You gotta get the eagle view. And then I just give it like a little press down. Because I want them to be flatbreads. The sandwiches that the people make, this is a wholesale order. They're gonna be getting these, and they want them to be kind of like a little bit lower profile. They want them to have a nice pocket so they can split them easily with a knife. And yeah, we'll just press them a little bit further once they're about to go in the oven. Do like a little final press. You know what's good too? If you're having like friends over, instead of using water, you could put like a little bit of like, or you could like shape them in flour or just water, and then put them on like a tray with a tiny bit of water and molasses, or like sorghum or maple syrup or whatever, and that will like really stick the seeds to the flatbread, and it'll also kind of like make them a little bit like softer and like shinier. Almost like it's not an egg wash, it's like a syrup wash almost on your breads before they go in the oven. So, I've never done it because I'm a cheapo, big cheapo over here. You know, I'm not trying to fix what's not broken over here. Yeah, I don't know how long I don't know how long this stream is gonna be, but I know the bake is like, it's gonna go till about maybe, hopefully we'll get it done about 1 o'clock in the morning. We'll go to bed for like 5 hours, wake up, go to the market, set up, you know. But maybe we'll get it done sooner. Maybe we'll finish the loaves. Maybe we'll finish the loaves at like 12:30 or something crazy like that. So the flatbreads that I was talking about before, where I like rolled them up and put them on a tray, I'll stretch those to a pan, and we'll get like 25 flatbreads in like a short period of time, which is really great for like, you know, again, just doing stuff quickly and making really yummy food quickly. And this one, like, you know, it's a little bit more time consuming or whatever. I don't have really like a better way of doing this. If I were to shape it with 2 hands, with flour, it would be no problem. I could like shape it in flour, toss it in water, toss it in sesame seeds, but like, I feel like that's like an extra step when I could just do this real quick, like fast as I can, get them on the tray, you know, job's done. But this is how I used to, the pieces were even smaller than this. They were like 80 or like 85 grams. And this is how I used to shape like all the flatbreads. I would like sit there and I would have like 200 like on the table. I would just sit there like doing each one. It was just like so silly, honestly. So silly. That's why this wholesale order is awesome. This is a Bridge and Tunnels wholesale order. They're like a local cafe, and they hit markets in like a little, I mean, it's a big like coffee truck, and everyone gets coffee from them. But their cafe is like really cool. They have like a bunch of different sandwiches, and Bobby, who like created the menu, is just like a really good cook, chef, I guess at this point. He's like running the whole place, like menu wise and back of house wise. And they're just like really laid back as like a wholesale client, which I really like. I just like when you have a wholesale account, sometimes, oh, I forgot to count, whatever. When you have a wholesale account, sometimes it's just like you're keeping up with them. Like you're like, hey, do you guys want like, did you guys want more bread? Like, or was that just like a one-timer, or, you know? And they're just like, hey, Eli, whenever you make us bread, we'll give you money. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'll just, every once in a while, I'll just make you guys some bread then. Like that's cool. More wholesale account, or more larger restaurants and like cafes and stuff should be like that, especially if they want to use like a local product. I think they kind of have to be like flexible, because like it's not like I have like a big team doing this with me or whatever. I got like a kid, got like a family and stuff. It's like a family situation here, not a corporation situation here. I think I almost got 60. I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm not gonna count. I just like don't really care. You know, that's what's great about having a wholesale account like that. I could just be like, And be like, oh, I got 58 for you. And they're like, oh, cool, thanks. You know, they're not like pressed about the last two. Or if I like eat one, I'm like, listen, I got hungry. I got hungry last night, Bobby. He's like, dude, don't even worry. I can imagine. I mean, I've never done that, but I can imagine him being really chill about it. When I'm hungry, I don't eat my own food. I go to like get takeout. I'm like a real cook. I go get takeout like a real cook. Okay. Looks like I'm a little short, I think, but that's fine by me. Maybe I got like 12 on this last tray or something. Oh, I forgot to press that last tray, but it doesn't really matter, but it's almost like a small blessing. Oh, you know, my grandmother, my teta, my Lebanese grandmother still puts a cross on her dough to this day, and I just think that's a beautiful thing. You know, I'm not religious though. No disrespect to anybody in the chat who's religious. I think having a strong belief in anything is a really good thing, unless it's something super evil, in which case, you know, chill, chill. Don't do evil shit. So, 5, 10. Oh, see, we were so close, but that's fine. 5, 10. We'll do a big tray. So, contemplating whether to do a larger tray or a smaller tray for these guys. Watch me like bring the wholesale order tomorrow, and they were like, "Yo, Eli, we're not making that sandwich anymore." We'll be like, "Oh, cool. Hot fresh bread. We got fresh sesame bread over here." Oh, yeah. What should I do with this guy? I think I'm gonna put it in our little starter bin. You can be reborn in our next batch. Alright. And now, oh dude, I mean this isn't even the pièce de résistance what we're about to get into. This is just the regular old loaves here, but it's gonna be pretty cool. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to really do these like Friday streams much, because someone usually helps me, and I'm not about to be like, hey, do you mind if a bunch of random people watch you? You know what I mean? No, I'm sure they'll have like all sorts of opinions about that. Like I would. What should we do? What should we do? I don't know. I think we'll be fine. This is it. Sometimes when you put a small amount of bread on a large surface and then put it directly on a hearth or a stone, you know, that you're baking on, it can, like, enough surface area isn't covered, so like there's a lot more heat coming off of the floor through the pan more quickly. So you end up with like really nicely colored flatbread bottoms. But I think we'll pull it off. We can pull it off. We'll bake this one after we bake the other ones. You know, we'll pull them a little bit early. If we have to flip them, we can flip them. You heard me. You might get flipped, okay? It might be that kind of day. You might get flipped. Little blessing there. All right, now we wash the hands and we move on to the loaves. We are doing you know what my wife said? My beautiful, beautiful wife. She's so amazing. She's like, Eli, dude, just take it easy tomorrow. It's gonna be all you. You know, like you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to overexert yourself. She's so nice to me. She's such a good person to me. And instead of listening to her, what I'm gonna do is make so much bread. I'm gonna make an insane amount of bread with no help today because oh god, oh my, we're at capacity over here. We're at capacity over here. Oh shit. Alright, 1 second. 1 second. I'm honestly glad you guys can't see me right now. I'll explain. I'm making a mess of things. But yeah, essentially we're going to be doing a ton of bread. We're going to be doing a lot of bread today. Doing. What I mean by doing is we're going to be making a lot of bread. So this first dough is 100% stone ground, North Carolina grown, whole wheat flour with artesian well water, sea salt, and a starter made of the same flour. And then we mix it, or we fold in kind of like an oatmeal with, not steel toes, rolled oats, organic rolled oats, pepitas, which are like the small peeled squash seeds, the green ones, and sesame seeds. And that's on the inside and the outside, so it's a really seedy bread. Not for everybody, but a lot of people like seed bread here in Asheville. It's really good for like people who need a lot of fiber in their diet, and a lot of people, a lot of people here need fiber in their diet. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying here. All right, and we're gonna get a little bit of water like before. All right. Oh my God, I forgot the thing. So this is, we just started weighing it a little bit bigger at 1,300 grams. And most of the dough gets weighed out like pretty large for the pan loaves. It's just a denser bread, so it ends up being heavier on the scale. Wow. Maybe not. I'm moving the table. Maybe I should start guessing. This one's money. Nope. Let's see, I got this one. This one's gonna be locked. I know it. Oh yeah. That's 1263. 1239. I was I don't know, I'm not gonna do that. I was a few grams off, that's not bad. Alright, this one, I'm gonna get this one. Oof, so light. That's 12, close, very close. I keep hitting mid 1200s. Mid 12. Oh, high 12. Alright, hold on. Whoa. We hit the 1400s, folks. It's like watching paint dry, I'm sure. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oof. That's like, because it's hand mixed, we have like it's not like perfect. The dough's not like, thoroughly perfectly mixed. It's a big bin of dough. I do it by hand, not by machine. So we got like some that are like a little bit heavier, or not heavier, a little bit like denser with seeds, and some that are a bit lighter with gas-filled dough. At some point, one of my old market vendor buddies, Emily, was like asking me how to divide dough or something like that. It was like I'm having trouble like doing a good job dividing like large bins of dough or something. And I'm gonna be doing like a lot of large bins of dough, or what a small bakery would be considering like a large bin of dough, So what we do with this leftover amount, I just everybody gets a little extra. Oh, isn't that great? Isn't that great? These loaves are gonna be gigantic. They're gonna bake for like, no exaggeration, these loaves of bread are probably gonna bake for close to like an hour and a half to maybe even an hour 45 because I started cutting them just a little bit bigger. You know, everyone gets a little extra. You know, nothing's meant to be too calculated here. Here. So I think what we should do is cut another dough and just do like a few doughs at a time here. Yes. Okay, so this dough's a little bit tight right now. Never know. It's a whole wheat dough. Again, everything's gonna be like either 100% whole wheat or like very high percentage whole wheat. And if it's a high percentage of whole wheat, the other flour we're using is from the same mill. See how I put it all the way over there? What an amateur. But the flour is from the same mill, so it's like the same red wheat, New East, organic, stone milled, passed through a bolter, which just sifts off the largest pieces of bran, and we get an 85 extraction, which is a high extraction flour. And that just means they're just taking like 15% of the 100% whole wheat away, and you're left with like kind of like a little bit of a finer, creamier flour, you know? And we use that in this dough and a few other doughs, and definitely the focaccia. Or it's not a focaccia, but you know, it's like a focaccia. I'm not Italian. That's fine. We got long arms. Let's do it. This one is, see this one, it's a little bit bigger. Oh, this was too big. Oh my God. What am I doing out here? But this one is also 1,300 grams. But it's gonna look a little bit bigger on the table because it doesn't have any seeds in it, so it's all just gas-filled dough. So, Emily, this is for Emily. I don't think she's watching, but you know, if you're watching, hi Emily, thank you for tuning in. If you're not, that's fine. This next little bit of dough is dedicated to Emily, who wanted to know a little bit more about like shaping, or not shaping, but dividing large chunks of dough. I'm not saying I'm like the expert on like dividing large pieces of dough, but I just do it, you know, from like a lot. So like I have a way that I've learned to do it, and I think I learned like this technique of like using water rather than flour to divide everything from a video with like Chad Robertson from Tartine or something like that a long time ago. It's like, I can't remember what video it was, but it was definitely like a YouTube video, and he was like, okay, this is divide with water instead of flour, so you don't make like a big mess and add a bunch of like flour to your beautiful dough and stuff like that. So most of the time when I do boules or like, you know, and anytime I can really, anytime I can divide with water rather than flour, I do it. Stuff like the flatbreads, it's difficult to kind of, not the sesame ones, but the larger like stretched ones that I'm gonna do after this. Those are like, you gotta put them in flour first, otherwise you're gonna be like throwing a big wet pile of dough into like a flour onto a floured surface after you cut it, and it's just not gonna work. But Emily, the way to do it is you just dump your dough out, you know, whether it's like 10, 15 loaves, whatever, dump it out on your surface. Make sure you have enough like surface area for the actual dough that you're dumping, because you don't want, like, I'm already kind of like, I'm tipping the scale over here the way I'm like sitting on the edge of the table. No big deal. If it hangs over, you just flip it back over. This is way too big. Man, my cuts are crazy today. But yeah, Emily, this is a good example. You know, I have some pieces, right? So like the dough, you know, I'm actually not the one usually dividing the dough today, so maybe that's why I'm a little bit thrown off. But I've cut like some beautiful chunks of dough here. They're gonna shape nicely because they're all like uniform size or whatever. Every time I'm cutting, I'm dipping my hand in a little bit of water so the dough doesn't stick. And now, like, because I have these dough chunks, I'm cutting a little bit smaller, like knowing that, oh, like I need a piece of, like a 30 piece here, you know what I mean? I need like a little 30 there. So, and this one's like what, like 400 grams or something, or maybe 300 grams. So I'm gonna just cut like smaller pieces and use up this last little bit of dough. You know, like it's honestly, I don't really know like the perfect thing to tell you when it comes to shaping or dividing the doughs. It's more just like, just keep your hands like a little bit down, and you know, be confident. Like don't be like sitting there like using two hands and be like, oh God, oh, you know, it's gonna like mess your dough up. Just be confident, keep your hands a little bit damp, and like, you know, if your hand's stuck on it, like just quickly tug it away. So usually I would take like this. It would be like a little bit neater here. It would be like one larger piece, some smaller pieces. I put them together and do like a little tiny baby loaf. But I'm gonna skip that today. I'm just gonna add maybe like 30 grams, maybe like 25 grams to each lump, and that just means a little bit of extra for everybody. Usually, like when I'm doing these bread recipes, I'm not like hitting the exact gram numbers. Like it's not like the biggest deal ever for me. I know that I'm gonna get like around the number that I need. And these aren't for wholesale or anything, they're just for market. All right, now I'm gonna walk in a little bit and just wash my hands, start shaping all this, and keep going with the loaves. So with these, with like whole wheat doughs, especially like stone ground flours and stuff like that, this dough could have gotten like a little bit more time, not to ferment, but to like develop, you know. Maybe I could have given it one more fold over itself last night or this morning or whatever. Or after I put the seeds, I could have maybe folded it once more, you know, earlier in the day, let it relax a little bit, whatever. So it's a little bit like, I can tell it's like, it's a little bit strong, a little bit tight, you know, especially for like how much water is in it. So we don't want to shape it like too tight. I'm almost just like rolling it up. Like I'm not really adding that much tension to this. Oops, I forgot. I'm not adding much tension to this dough because it could end up kind of like ripping the actual outside, like the exterior gluten structure could end up ripping with the pressure of the actual bread growing, filling with gas, you know, fermenting, proofing in the pan, and then eventually ripping the dough if I shape it too tight. So we just take this dough, we just roll it up lightly, especially with all the seeds in there too. The top will just bust right open. It doesn't really matter. Like it's not a big deal. Like you just put it in the oven, and then when it bakes, it has like a little rip on the top, and nobody has ever been like upset about that. But we just try to prevent it, you know. It also it'll if it rips on top, it won't have the same like rise, the same like capability to capture the gas like moving upwards, and it'll just rip and kind of be like the loaf will end up looking a little bit shorter than the other loaves, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's all made out of like the same like delicious like quality ingredients. So that's always what kind of like mattered to me, is like the aesthetic is just not the main focus. It's more like the flavor and nutrition of it all, where it all comes from, which probably goes hand in hand with flavor and nutrition. You know what else I like about breads with seeds in them? I don't even know if I talked about what I like about it, but one of the things that I like about doing like breads with seeds is you don't need to like oil the pan really at all. which is really nice, especially for people who are like oil-free, like diets and stuff. They're like, do any of your breads not have a single drop of oil? I'm like, yeah, for sure. The seeded breads, I mean, other than like the natural oils and like the seeds and flour and stuff like that, but when it comes to like olive oil or seed oil or whatever, you don't have to add any of that to a pan loaf if it's covered in seeds or oats or bran or grits or whatever. It just pops right out. It's really cool. I like that. Ooh, this one's I can see when I shake it a little tight, it starts to like rip on the top. Just means, you know, could have done a better job, you know, developing the dough. But it's funny because people are like always like, oh, the dough looks underdeveloped, or you know, whatever. Like, you know, not to just me. Like people just, they'll be like, you should be able to read a newspaper or like see the sunrise through it, and it's just like, why, bro? Like it's not like the more strong the gluten is, the better it is for you. Like that's not what it is. Like it doesn't get healthier once you can see through the dough at all. That's why like I'm just not too worried about it being like, I'm like, ooh, it ripped a little bit on top because the dough wasn't like perfectly mixed, or like, you know, we didn't do like a perfect window paint on the dough before shaping it, because it's like, I mean, who cares? Did it bake into bread? Yes. Oh, good. That's all I care about, really. Can you eat it? Okay, good. That's nice. That's all I care about, really. So funny. I know that would make like a lot of people mad, honestly, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I love you all, and I would never, you know, I never trying to like hurt anybody's feelings by saying like I'd rather eat like something ugly than something that's like perfect. There's no disrespect meant. It's just my personal preference when it comes to like what I eat and what I like to make. We're going after the rustic. We're going after the rustic appearance. Okay. Oh, whoopsie. So we gotta put these right in the fridge, because otherwise they're gonna overproof. So I'm gonna put them over here. It's gonna take me about, I don't know, who cares? Just enjoy yourself. Maybe go get something to drink. Maybe scroll. You know what I mean? I love these, I can't remember if I talked about it or not, but I love these strapped pans, like the pick, especially for wood-fired bakers, because they gotta send those pans all the way back. Most bakers are doing like individual, they're not like putting it on a loader and sliding it off, they're doing like individual loads. They'll be like putting like 3, 4, or 5 pans at a time on like a peel or something like that. And with these strap pans, oh, it's the best. Like you just throw like 4 loaves, 3 or 4 loaves back at a time, and that helps with steam retention when you're doing a lot of loaves at a time. You know, because you be sitting there loading like 20 loaves by the 2s or 3s, it would take like a lot longer than just sending 5 or 4 or 5 strap pans back there. So these are the best, especially when you just start the bake. You want to just get the first loaves in there as quick as possible. Whoops. Oh man. I'm just not going to look at the clock at all, and then I'm going to see how well we did on time today. I'm just going to keep moving. I feel like I'm going super slow, but that's okay. Oh, whoops. Sorry. I didn't mean to tip you. Alright. This stuff, I don't even know if I talked about this stuff. I think I did a little bit. Like, it's got whole wheat flour, it's sourdough. It has a little bit of that high extraction flour I was talking about earlier. And it's also got a tiny bit of local sorghum syrup, which is almost like, it's kind of like molasses, but it's golden, like beautiful golden color, almost like maple syrup. And it has a very it's very, very sweet like molasses, but it doesn't have the bitterness like molasses does, and it also doesn't have that super dark color that molasses tends, blackstrap molasses tends to be really dark. So sorghum is really good for bread baking. Because when you do those darker doughs, especially wood-fired, it's so hard to tell when they're done, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be like, it's dark on top, but it went in dark on top. I don't know, gotta go all the way back there, take it out, look at it, tap it, all that. Alright. So I think I'm gonna move over here actually. This one we shape a little bit longer, it's going into a slightly longer pan. You can see how it's a little rough on that one. It always takes me like a second with these ones. There we go. And covering the dough in seeds always takes way longer than just shaping the dough directly in flour. So after I get all the seeded stuff done, we should kind of fly through the other doughs. usually do more like plain of these, not like more than the sesame. I usually do like a few plain, but today I'm gonna just do like a handful of the plain ones. I want people to start understanding that this bread, I mean, obviously sesame seeds are like, they can be an allergen to some people, so like we're gonna have some plain loaves, and we have like a lot of plain stuff to offer without seeds. But this bread, the sorghum sesame, you know what I mean? It's meant to be whole wheat, sorghum, syrup, and sesame seeds. Just feels like it goes nicely together. It's kind of like an homage to like what we used to do, which is put like a bunch of tahini in the dough. And we used to put like tahini and molasses, which is it's like a really classic Middle Eastern combination. Like for dessert, you take molasses, mix it with tahini, and then it makes this like really almost like a super decadent like vegan or like a plant-based butter caramel, because you're taking like a syrup. It's like a quick butter caramel. You know, you take like a syrup and you add like a really rich tahini to it. Almost acts like a butter to it in a caramel. And so I mean the flavor is really delicious if you do it with pomegranate molasses. But here, sorghum grows locally, so we do it with sorghum. Sorghum and sesame, in homage to the old world. Yeah, I'll do 5. Should I do 5 or 4? I'll do 5, because I know there's gonna be some people that want a nice plain loaf of bread. This one's almost kind of like, I tell people it's like a honey wheat. It's like if you got like someone to make like a homemade honey wheat loaf, but without honey. You know, you're just replacing the honey with whatever syrup you want. You know. And you don't have to put enough to really sweeten the bread. I think this bread, you know, it may have like a slight sweetness if you like chew it long enough, but it's good for like sweet or savory stuff. So. Where is it? Oh, whoops. So funny. I'm like, that is so how I am. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do 5 of this or 6 of this, and then I'm like, I just like zone out, do 4 or 3. Whoops. Okay, so, oopsie. This I'm gonna put right over here. I think we're gonna let it sit out just for a little bit. These guys take a bit longer to proof, a bit slower to proof. Excuse me. This one is whole wheat sourdough bread. Has about 15, I'd say, percent rye in it. Local rye, same mill, locally grown rye, stone ground rye. It's a whole grain rye, so it's not like sifted at all. And it has caraway seeds in it, so, and a lot of people don't like caraway seeds, but this bread, it kind of like changes people over to liking it. It's just like, there's just a very small amount of caraway seed and a good amount of salt as well as like a high extraction flour. So it's almost like a Jewish deli rye. Like you have like a Reuben sandwich on it. Or like, it's really good for grilled cheese as well. Pairs nicely with like a sharp cheese, you know, because it has like a nice flavor to it. So it's like, it's not just like whole grain flavor, you know. It has like a kind of like a buttery texture because of the sifted flour, and has that seed flavor. Oh, whoops, wrong one. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know how many flatbreads we're gonna do today. Mostly because I'm just by myself today. This one is just plain 100% whole wheat. Sourdough, everything's sourdough, everything's got a bunch of whole wheat in it. You get the picture.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I didn't really do that good of a job explaining the dividing process. So, like, keep your hand wet. You know, I'm like, I know approximately how large I need to cut the piece of dough by like the looks of things and by the feel of things when it comes to like weight. And I sort of like pull it towards myself until it's like a big ball on my hand. You know, again, like the water on my hand really helps with that. And be like a couple grams off here and there. And like, it's not something that you're like good at right away. For sure, it takes a little bit, you know, and it's not like, oh, it takes a month or it takes 2 months. It's like, it depends on like how much you're baking and how much you care and stuff like that. So yeah, just dump the dough out, keep your hand wet, cut, pull towards you, and it should just sit right on top of your hand, you know. That's pretty much how I divide like all of my dough, you know. If I cut it in flour, it's because, whoa, that's so much bigger than it used to be. If I cut it in flour, that's because it's just gonna like rest in flour or something like that, you know, like the flatbreads that we do. When you do that, when you like take it and you're cutting it and you're pulling it towards you, it almost like tightens up, you know, it almost like pre-shapes right in your hand by the time you get it on the scale. And then, when you adjust, you just drop it, and it's like, it's almost like you just pre-shaped it and weighed it at the same time. I didn't make this up, bro. Like, I didn't make any of this crap up. This is like centuries old. It's centuries old techniques. Oh, here, and this, see, we have, those are cut pretty large, and this is a pretty large piece, of kilo, so we're just gonna keep it right there. And we'll do like, just a little bit, we have like a bunch of different size pans, we'll do like a smaller pan. Same with this though, just cutting it, pulling it, until it's about 1,300 grams. Oops. You know, you want to make sure you can tell the difference between your doughs. That's nice. It's important. So the way I'm thinking I'm gonna do today's stream, like I'm just gonna see how things go, and I'm gonna kind of like keep an eye on my phone. Like if my phone dies, like I'm not gonna plug it in and stream. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be a mess, and it's gonna, my phone's gonna be like tilted on the charger and all that. So I'll probably just like, you know, maybe like at that point if I need to stop streaming and charge my phone for a bit, and then I'll come back to streaming like late night when I do just the loaves, because I kind of feel like that's got like a little bit of like a separate vibe, and I'm typically with a person right now, like they're helping me cut and shape and all that. They're just out of town this weekend, so I don't think I'm typically gonna show this part of the bake unless that person's like really down to be watched on a live stream. So I don't know. I don't think you can see over here, can you? Yeah. I'm gonna go this way. Just a little bit. So this is a cinnamon raisin dough. So I definitely didn't make that shit up. Oh my gosh. This right here. Whoa. What? Hold the phone. Oh my god, this scale. I mean, it's not the scale, it's me. But... I'm guessing it was this one. all we have to do is shape everything. Just take just a moment, just a moment. That's how I gotta get these right in the fridge.
Right in the fridge with these bad boys.
What do we got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. But we really only have 11, so 6.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I hope you're having fun. And if you're not having fun, I totally understand. It's probably boring as hell. But I'm having so much fun. I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing right now, y'all. Whoever gets this one is like more raisins than bread. You could toast it with butter. Alright. And we're gonna leave the cinnamon raisin out just for a little bit because cinnamon acts as like it's like an antifungal or like something like that. And it can, if you put enough of it in a dough, and this dough has quite a bit of cinnamon, it can kind of like prevent fermentation a little bit. So you don't want to like shove it right in the fridge right after you shape it. You want to like let it sit out a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna scrape down the table a little bit, wash my hands, take the flatbread dough out. Oh, I'm gonna shift this way a little bit too. And then I might look at like the chat and see if there's any questions that I can answer. If there's not any questions, I'll just like say what's up because I haven't looked at the chat at all. And it looks like my phone is not doing good. we got halfway through that, and we have like just like maybe 2.5 hours before I think I end stream, eat something, get back on stream, and do the rest of the bake. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't really have like a solid plan at all. That was fun.
We're gonna roast these up, get them in the oven, a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of olive oil. Just get them about like 3/4 of the way cooked, and then they'll finish on the flatbreads. Whoops. That's the baker's snack right there. Touches the floor. Yeah. That's for me. That's for me. Oh, that's for me too. Okay, let's get this hit with a little bit of salt and in the oven. Get this in the oven at about 800 degrees. Oh, another baker's snack. Oh. Ooh, this one's covered in sticks and ash. Mmm. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right. So. Let's look at chat. Shabbat shalom. Hi, Elena. I don't know who's watching now anymore. Zenix. Hi, Zenix. Brian Hearn. Were you sad when Bin Laden died? Bro, that's actually so funny. That's actually so funny. Yes, bro. I was so sad when Bin Laden died. Oh my god. Honestly, that's kind of the energy I want in my chat, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you could bring jinxie energy into this chat, I would actually be like pretty thrilled. So what's gonna happen now is, since I like looked through the chat and the only question that I had to answer was I sad when Bin Laden died? I'm just gonna get some fresh air real quick and eat my little baker's snack, my carrot that fell on the floor. And then I'm gonna go, after I take a little breather, I'm gonna come back in here and start making sure those carrots don't burn. I can actually hear them right now. I'm like, I gotta like set like a mental timer. If I burn my carrots live stream, dude, I'm gonna be so hyped. But I'm not gonna burn my carrots live stream. I got it up here. I got a big mental timer. Carrots! Okay. So I'm gonna come back in here after I chill for a sec, and we're gonna start doing the flatbreads. Great bake so far. We haven't even baked anything, but we're headed in the right direction over here. Yeah. Okay. If you don't like loud noises, you came to the wrong stream. I mean, it's so funny. I actually hit a little bit of a dilemma right now because I've sort of like run out of sheet pans. So what we're gonna do is we got 2 here, and I'll just wash a couple as we start doing this. This can be washed now. Oh no, wait, no, that's trash. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna eat my carrot and be right back. Oh, you see me? Okay. get my carrots? How do we begin? Guess what that sound is? Alright. So it's actually really nice and cool in here right now, which is good. Because that means probably not going to overproof anything. Carrots! This is going to be the best flatbread bake we've done in a while. Because I'm going to put my absolute love, care, and attention into each one of these flatbreads. We're going to work quickly. We're going to work efficiently. And we're going to get this done in record time while also making sure they look and taste delicious. And we're gonna have a great attitude while we do it too. So, like I said before, I don't really have any sheet pans. Is this a sheet pan I can use? No. Oh, I can use those. I found some sheet trays I could use. A little bit of olive oil on the tray. Again, I'm gonna put a little bit more than I usually do today because there's no grits. It's just flour that these are resting on, and I don't want them to get like, I want them to get a nice crisp on the bottom. I don't want them to be like gummy or soggy on the bottom. And that sometimes happens when we do just flour instead of grit or bran. We're gonna get this done before we have to, let's see. We're gonna get this done before our phone dies. I'm gonna get this done before the phone dies.
check on the carrots before we get started so we don't burn them. A bit longer. No more bigger snaps. I don't want any more of these smaller. I want to get as many carrots on these flatbreads as I possibly can. Carrot flatbread sounds a little weird, right? Yeah, people really like it. And we've been doing it like all winter. We've been getting either local carrots or just like carrots from a local purveyor, you know, organic. But I'm definitely excited for the seasons to change. Like we got a bunch of tomatoes coming in our garden. A lot of farmers got stuff going on. Hopefully we can get a bunch of Roma tomatoes. Those are really nice on the flatbreads. Doesn't have to be Roma, could just be plum tomatoes, good. Okay. We're gonna cut these into 5. Can you see? Sorry. Can you see me? All right, yeah. We're gonna cut these into 5 strips and stretch it to these pans. They're a little underproofed. The actual large piece of dough is a little underproofed, but it's like a very ideal temperature for fermentation in the bakery right now. So we're gonna, as we work, these will proof on the pan, and then we will gently slide them in the oven, about 3 at a time. Three trays at a time, sorry. A lot faster than shaping individual pieces, that's for sure.
to so we can use it. Because I keep either breaking or accidentally giving away our sheet trays. Be like, we're having a wedding. And I'll be like, just keep it. My goofy eye. Giving away my money.
tray real quick. Here we go. What's character probably doing? Nummy. Nummy, as my son would say. Ooh-wee. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, sorry about that noise. Should I mute it? I'm gonna mute it. That noise is awful. I don't even care how many people are watching that horrible.